OnlyFans model says Catholic school expelled her children over her racy photos. Oh boy, doesn't that sound like a spicy title right there. Imagine being the child of an OnlyFans model. You would not hear the fucking end of it. So many bullies out there are gonna hold it over little Jimmy's head that they beat off the pictures of his mom after school. Okay, that is not something you can live down. That's the point where you want to move schools immediately, change your name and identity, maybe get some plastic reconstruction so your face looks completely unrecognizable, and just completely distance yourself from your weird family. I feel every ounce of sympathy for what these children are going through. And in a Catholic school too, okay? I genuinely don't know how a mother can tell their child to be a good little Christian boy and then turn around and fucking snap a picture of her pussy for these horny middle-aged men on Reddit. But at the same time, she's making like $150K a month, alright? This bitch is gonna end up a millionaire in a couple of years, so, you know, fuck it. I'd do it if I were in her position. I can't really blame her for that. Money is a strong motivator. Now, personally, I don't take any issue with people deciding to do sex work, you know? If you're living your best life and you aren't hurting anyone, fucking hell, more power to you. But goddamn, alright? At least wait until your kids are out of school. I mean, surely, this woman must have known that this would affect her family life, alright? Neighbors are going to gossip, especially if you're in a Catholic school where stuff like this is heavily frowned upon, you know? If this was like a public school, I think that would be a much different issue. I think most public schools actually wouldn't care, considering they're probably used to having parents who do way worse for a living, but man, the kids really got screwed over in this situation. Granted, right, Catholic schools, they kick people out for the tiniest of reasons. If not for this OnlyFans thing, those kids would get expelled for some other bullshit reason, but, you know, I just don't see why they should be punished for what their mother does on social media. I think the vast majority of us can agree with that. Most kids, you know, don't want to have to move or, you know, say goodbye to their childhood friends or their favorite teachers. I do hope things turn out better for them. But, you know, considering how much money their mother is making, I really want to be surprised if they start going to, like, a way better fucking private school or whatever. I mean, we really do live in fucking unprecedented times where some random housewife can become a millionaire in the span of a year for posting pictures of herself online. And, you know, she's not like a top-tier model by any stretch of the imagination. I'd say she's about average. Honestly, I couldn't see myself buying her OnlyFans. I don't think I'd even actively search her pictures out if they were for free. But again, you know, more power to her. More power to her. What can I fucking say? I respect the grind, I guess. Now, for whatever reason, this woman got a lot, and I mean a lot of media attention, probably because there's been a news drought this week. I mean, fucking hell. It's so hard to get a fucking story trending. We were trying so hard to get the Aaron Fechter styrofoam bowl story covered by the media, and we only got this lousy article by Yahoo praising him as a genius. So the news must really be fucking slow this week, but she basically recorded an interview where she describes her situation, where she was essentially bullied and harassed by her neighbors for having an OnlyFans account. Which, personally, you know, I can concede that she brings up a lot of valid points here. I think the neighbors were really going on this weird moral crusade to take her down, when really her profession doesn't concern them in the slightest. But let's let the interview play for itself.
Hi, I am Mrs. Poindexter. So a little bit of background. About a year and a half ago, my husband and I decided to spice up our marriage. So in doing so, he decided to post a couple pictures on Reddit. They became really popular. People actually suggested we start an OnlyFans page. We had no idea what that was.
That's a very interesting way of spicing up your marriage, alright? Imagine being the husband that puts, like, nude photos of your wife on Reddit while the other Redditors start jerking off to her, and you're like, oh man, I really scored a keeper, didn't I? No, obviously people do have their own fucking fetishes, and I'm not gonna bash on you for that. Personally, I'm not that type of guy. I value intimacy, and I don't think I'd put someone up on display like that. So while I understand it, I'm still gonna fucking goof on it because it's funny as fuck.
We did it. It was kind of our little marriage thing. No one knew about it. It was our little secret. About 7 months ago, a dad in the neighborhood found it, and of course, kind of hot gossip.
Oh, I see. So a dad in the neighborhood found it, alright? I'm sure he was probably jerking off to it, and maybe his wife caught him and was like, "Oh, honey, is that Mrs. Poindexter from the house down the street?" And then he's like, "Oh, I wasn't beating my meat. I was digging for this information so I could bring it to light and expose her and save the neighborhood, save the Catholic school." And then she's like, "Oh, Billy, I knew I didn't waste my life by deciding to marry you." I don't know. I genuinely don't see any other explanation for some random dad in the neighborhood stumbling upon this photo. Let's be fucking real here.
And he told his wife, and they thought it was, really good gossip. And so they decided to take my pictures and spread them around. They were printing them out. They were copyrighted pictures. They were printing them out. They were distributing them through printouts, electronically, through text messages, you name it. People got all the pictures around. I was getting text messages. I was getting voicemails. Actually, I have a good voicemail from a dad, really laying into me about how disgusting and disturbing I am, how I should pack up and move out of town. It's been a lot of like bullying and harassment on me, which is fine. People don't have to agree with what I decide to do, and that's okay. I'm not asking anybody for their approval or for their agreement, but what I'm not okay with is people going after my children and trying to get them removed from school.
And that's something I have a lot of respect for and can agree with wholeheartedly. All right? This woman is willing to accept the repercussions of her actions, is willing to accept the criticism that other people may lodge at her, but it's unfair for people to target her children based on her choice and profession, which is completely reasonable. I don't understand why people would take it upon themselves to actively target the children in this situation, which are objectively the victims in this whole scenario. Obviously, the mother doesn't deserve tidal waves and tidal waves of harassment. There are things worth criticizing, depending on your own set of moral values, but realistically, she's just choosing a profession that doesn't concern the vast majority of the population. You really don't have to look at her fucking OnlyFans photos. You can just move on with your fucking life.
How is your behavior actually better than like what I'm doing? Is that okay for another mom or a set of moms to actually bully a mom or bully her kids and harass her children to get them removed from a school because you don't like something that the mom's doing? And if you don't like it, you don't really have to look. You can just pass over it and not even look at it. A majority of the people, 95% of the people, know what's going on and they don't really care. They're just like, you do you, we're cool. But it's a handful of moms that have nothing else better to do than to sit there and stalk my account, become obsessed with it, and, like I said, print out pictures, send them to the school, and try to have my kids removed.
You want to know why those bitches are so obsessed with you? It's because they caught their fucking husband jerking off to their neighbor, and you unintentionally destroyed relationship after relationship in your fucking neighborhood. They see you as competition. They see you as a fucking homewrecker.
But I'm gonna win. I'm gonna try. I'll never lose. I'll never die. You've seen me before. You'll see me again.